What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me on these analysis. We're going to be checking out MSTR and Bitcoin today. So we're going to take a look at the larger time frame, the larger picture over here. And you can see the channel that we've been talking about for a long time has been respected multiple times to the upside, to the downside. It looks like we ended up getting the scenario that we were speaking of, where we have this being this major leg up, then having this move down, halfway up, back down, and then it looks like we did this just on a larger time frame, on a larger scale. We had our move back down, halfway up, back down, just like this. Here you go, you can see it again, from top back to the bottom, middle, back to the bottom, and then a move to the top of the channel, and then we had our move up, back down, halfway, back down. So we'll see what happens. I'm not saying that we will run up to the top of this channel because Bitcoin has diminishing returns. But these are all theories, nothing really is ever definite. But it's just an idea. And it kind of makes sense. It kind of looks like 2019. 2019 didn't really top on that, or this little run up here. There wasn't as much euphoria, of course, as your normal for your cycle tops like 17. 21, 2025, we topped not as much on euphoria like we did over in these two. Of course, this isn't the peak of that cycle. Of course, it was 17 and 21, but it was kind of that mid-year or mid-cycle top. And it looks like we kind of got that, but for our 4-year cycle on this, because it's a drawn out version of this move. It's just a theory, like I said. Overall, just dollar cost averaging in, and you'll be okay. Now, we did make it to the bottom of this channel. We've had this drawn out for a long time now, and we made a touch here, and it looks like we're kind of just bouncing right now at the moment. So I think this is a great time to accumulate. I mean, look at every single time we've come to this area here. We're here right now. Look what happened here in 22, 23, and then a major run up happened over here, major run up over here, we touched it, huge run up, and then over here we've touched it again, huge run up. So every single time we made contact with this bottom of this channel, we've had a huge run up. So I think it's safe to say that whether this goes down to 50,000, 55, first of all, it's probably not going to be too long. It's going to be more of a short-lived thing, maybe over a couple months. And then you're going to see a massive run-up. We haven't even seen a move where we actually closed outside of this channel just yet. This could be the exception. No models are ever 100%. So maybe we see something where we break out of it, kind of retest, double bottom over here at, I don't know, 53,000, 55,000, or a lower high, break back in the channel, and then we start to make our move back up. Like I said, they're just ideas. Now on a smaller time frame, still a large time frame, but a little bit smaller, to the downside, you can see that we have this channel right here, this yellow line that we've been following pretty well. And they're just bear flags on top of bear flags. So we started with this double top, topping in Q4 of 2025, just how we always have. We've topped Q4, the 4th year of every cycle so far, 100% hit rate. Not saying it's going to continue forever, but why bet against something that's happened every time so far? Your odds are better betting that it's going to happen again than to think that something new is going to happen. So we had this bear flag formed, fell off of it. You have your bear pull, the flag, drop. Now, what are we doing here again? We are creating the exact same thing once again. You can see that happening like clockwork. We're running up to the top of this channel here. And if I were to take a guess, I think we make some kind of fresh low when you take this bear flag. I'm not saying this is going to be the exact target, but if we take it from there, Who knows? Maybe we go to 50,000. Maybe it's a little bit short. Maybe we bounce off the top of or the bottom of this channel. Who knows? Nobody knows. But maybe that's what we get. In confluence with this major structure here, where we went sideways for, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 months in this time period over here. We use this as resistance. We broke, use it as support, and now we've fallen right back underneath it. We got rejected pretty hard at 76 to around 72,000. Just looking at the structure, it looks like we're more than likely going to hold underneath the structure, and it's going to push price lower. Within our major channel, like I said, the gray line up here, we are at the bottom of that channel. So in terms of this channel, we don't have too much downside. Maybe if it respects the channel exactly to the T, 65,000, more than likely it's not going to be perfect, because nothing is ever perfect, especially in the market. But like I said, give it a little bit of leeway. Maybe it goes back to 60 for a double bottom, and that's our bottom. Or maybe we fall a little further to 55, 50,000, who knows. And then we revert back inside and start to make a move up higher. And when you take a look here on the monthly, you can see the 50 moving average, yellow. Every time we get pretty close, we get a significant rally. Close or touch, you can see we rally. We have broken underneath it in 2022 through the extended bear market. We might get something similar to that, who knows. But we have come really close to making contact with that. So maybe we come back for another touch, or we fall back underneath it for maybe a few months, and then we rally back on top of it. And then the same thing for the 200, which is the green and orange. This is on the weekly time frame. You can see as we get close or make contact with it, we normally get a major move. And like I said, sometimes you can spend time underneath it, but overall, when you're near the 200 moving average, it's usually a good time to buy. We almost made contact with that as well. Now on the daily, let me clean up some of this and get some of this off of here. We are wondering what's going to happen because we have fallen underneath the 20 and the 50, and then we reclaimed it. But we'll see if we can hold back above it, because it's really starting to look bearish. Because remember, these moving averages are lagging indicators. So this move down here and this little move up. So the 50 coming down is from all this momentum to the downside. Now this 20, you see the white and blue pushing upward, is based off of this move here. This little run up allowed the 20 to start pushing back upward. So I'm expecting to see a pushback underneath both of them, and then retest, come back lower. This blue line, I'm assuming, will more than likely go like this. The blue line's gonna curve back underneath, and the 50 will kind of go like that. And we'll see something like, that's what I'm anticipating the moving averages to do as we see a little bit more downside. Now for MSTR, we're looking bearish, just like Bitcoin, of course. We have this downward sloping trend line that we broke underneath, retested off of just this past week, got rejected pretty hard, and now we're back underneath our 50-month moving average, which is very, very crucial. It's a very strong zone. I have this red zone drawn out because I think this is like the ultimate accumulation zone, in my opinion. Anything in that zone or below is just absolute fire. So I think buying it here is still really good, but here's an absolute fire sale. So we'll see what happens, but I'm anticipating lower prices for MSTR as well. As we know, it leads Bitcoin. I'll overlay Bitcoin so you guys can see that. We know it leads Bitcoin pretty much every single time. MSTR began its drop here, July 2025. Bitcoin didn't begin its drop. You can see the blue line, which is Bitcoin over here. Bitcoin didn't begin its drop until September 29th, 2025. So practically October, beginning of October, end of September. You can see that. Look at that. I mean, a 3-month gap where MSTR was leading, and everybody, myself included, were like, oh man, this thing is diverting from Bitcoin, and really it's just leading Bitcoin just how it did throughout the entire cycle. This is just typically how MSTR works, and I don't think it's going to change. I think it's going to be like this from here on out. Remember, MSTR is getting closer and closer in relation to Bitcoin because they continue to accumulate it. So I think the same thing is going to continue to happen. And we've seen stuff like that happen before. This is nothing new, and I think it's going to continue this way. The good thing about this cycle is that MSTR or strategy has been able to accumulate more Bitcoin because of all the preferred shares holdings that they have: STRC, STRD, STRK, the whole thing, Strife, STRF. We are able to accumulate more, get more Bitcoin per share. I think this is still going to be closely tied with Bitcoin to the upside, and we're going to break all these levels and push back up to higher levels, I would imagine. But don't expect that 40x move that we got. MSTR is much larger this time, so maybe you can divide it by 4 or something like that, maybe by 5. It's going to be a lot of upside, but it's not going to be as much as last cycle because Bitcoin's going to have diminishing returns and MSTR itself has a larger market cap as well. That's pretty much all I have for you guys. Make sure you drop a like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one.